Alright, today we got a Craftsman 6.0 lawnmower with a Briggs & Stratton engine. We picked it up for 25 bucks, non-running. Hopefully we can get it up and running. The only issue is there's a little bit of a rust spot here. We don't want to push in the paint, but other than that, it's a pretty solid looking lawnmower. I think we can get it up and running. So it was missing a cap, so we found a replacement cap from an old 2-stroke lawnmower that's no good anymore. The engine's blown, so that was like the only problem. Also, this cable, the pull rope is kind of loose, but I think we should be able to fix it. Everything looks repairable. So first thing we're gonna do is pull out the plug and check for spark. Alright, the plug looks pretty black.
Yeah, it looks very oily.
Hopefully it's not fouled. We do have another plug, but it does look pretty good. So now let's check for spark. The owner says it ran out of engine oil and it needs a blade sharpening and the air cleaner needs cleaning. So we're basically gonna do all basic maintenance to try to get this up and running. For the fouled plug, because we don't have another one laying around right now, so. This is what it looks like after the sandpaper. There we go, nice focus. It still looks pretty foul, but we got the top nice and clean, so hopefully this motor will spark now and everything will be good.
Okay, so now we're gonna check for spark.
I'm gonna turn over the engine. Is it ready? Is it grounded?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's got spark.
Let me do it one more time.
Yep. Wait, let me go on. Ooh, that's a nice shock.
Oh
so you guys seen the spark that went through there?
Do you want me to do it one more time?
No, don't do it again.
Alright.
Okay, so next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna air compress all the dust and stuff off it.
I'm gonna blow off all the loose dust real quick.
There's a decent amount of rust on this this lawnmower. We're probably gonna paint it and stuff afterwards.
Yeah, we'll probably get some red paint to repair this up. So that looks pretty good. Now we're gonna take off the top cover just to have a general idea of what the condition's like under it. So it's just a bolt and then a screw on the other side. Alright, here's the bolt. One screw. And this whole cover. Still in there a little bit. Whole cover should come off. To be honest, it looks pretty good. Just needs some cleaning. If we get a toothbrush in there, everything should turn out nice and clean. We're gonna take off the air filter next and see what condition that's in. Most mowers we work on. This one doesn't have overhead valves, but it's not really a big deal. One here, let's see. I don't know if you guys can see in there. It's pretty much bone dry. Just take my word for it, because you guys probably can't see it. But now we're gonna take off the air filter.
This might not have an air filter in it. That's what I'm. Yep, knew it.
It actually doesn't have no air filter.
Okay, so this one doesn't have an air filter. We'll have to.
We'll have to purchase an air filter.
Yeah, we'll clean up this in a bit, and then.
Yeah, after we do all this, we're gonna clean the whole entire thing up, degrease the whole engine, so it's looking good. And by the way, on this channel, what we do is we find old broken lawnmowers and we flip them for more money. So that way we make a profit.
So now I'm just taking off the air filter box. I'm gonna get into the carb, and then we'll see what it's looking like in there. It might be all gunked up, so we'll find out in a minute.
It's gonna look.
So now we're
Alright,
got this gunk of mess here.
let's
As you
see.
guys see this is very dirty. We'll be cleaning all this in a bit.
Let's get a look inside the carburetor, see what that's in. Looks pretty good in there. We haven't seen the float bowl, obviously, but we're gonna take a look inside the float bowl before we go on and do anything else. So we just gotta take this part out, and we should be able to take the carburetor out. I believe it's 2 screws, and we should easily be able to take that out. If any guys are wondering, here's the model number and all the information about it. Just if any guys were curious. So we're still working on taking off the carburetor, and we're probably gonna degrease the carburetor so this thing can run clean. So when there's no air filter in there and the lawnmower is this greased up, it probably tells me it was neglected because they didn't bother to buy an air filter for it. So who knows? I'm pretty sure this thing will run. Good thing it has sparks, so that means the points are good. If this uses points, I'm not really sure. But other than that, everything's looking good so far. Fuel line off. We didn't see any gas in the tank, but I guess the fuel line had some left over. It did spill a little bit, but it's not a big deal really. There is a little bit of gas dripping out of the tank. It looks pretty yellow. The guy did say there's really old gas in here. So I'm glad we're changing this gas out and not leaving the old one. Because the engine wouldn't really run on that gas probably. It might, but it'd probably make it bog or something. Alright, so we had to get a deep socket to get to these carburetor bolts, but it's all good. There's one there, and then I believe there's one on the other side, somewhere down here. And I'll take off the carb, and we do have carb cleaner somewhere, and this should clean up pretty good. Carburetor gasket.
You can get one of those ones that you can make.
Yeah, we might use some RTV gasket maker to make a carburetor gasket, and here's a first look at it.
Very disgusting.
It's very caked. This thing has probably been used for many years, never given a wash. Let's get a look at it inside.
The inside looks pretty clean.
Inside looks good, so we're gonna
right here. Once we're gonna take off the float bowl and then see what it looks like.
yeah, we're gonna degrease this.
There is some gas. There is some yellow gas in here coming out of the float bowl.
So yeah, it's good that we're cleaning out this gas.
Yep.
So let's get a crack inside that float bowl. All right, it's a 13 socket, just one bowl on the top, and let's hope the outside of the carburetor is not what's inside. Doesn't look like it from what we saw, but it'll be terrible if it is. But then it just needs a cleaning. Let's see the first reveal. Just stuck on there?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's not terrible.
It's not terrible. There's a little bit of dirt in it, or is that rust? I don't know.
It's got some little.
The float looks pretty good. I think a
float.
basic cleaning should get this machine up and running again. All right, so we're gonna quickly degrease the carb. This is what's really bad. This needs the most degreasing, but we're still gonna get the inside of the bowl with some brake clean. So just gonna spray it up and let this soak in. All right, that should be about good. And now I'm gonna take this brush and just get all the gunk off of it.
Okay, now we got it semi-clean. We just wanted to get most of the dirt off. We're gonna finish cleaning up the float bowl and everything like that.
We've sprayed a little bit of brake clean in there, hopefully to get the rest out of the gunk out of the carb. We're gonna put the float bowl back on, and then I'm gonna finish degreasing it, because I don't want anything to fall on the float like it was before. It's just one simple nut to put the carburetor float bowl back on, and it should be all good.
And we aren't taking the jets apart right now because we're trying to see if it will run without the jets having to be cleaned.
Yeah, we're hoping that
if it doesn't run, we'll clean it off.
we're hoping that the gas will just clean itself, like clean the carburetor out itself. So let's hope it does that. I'm just gonna spray a little bit more brake clean on it.
You can leave it on the towel if you want.
And I really want to get this pretty clean, because the outside was pretty dirty and disgusting, so I just got to get all around the edges. I scrubbed it pretty good. We're going to give it one last brake clean wash. And I think that turned out pretty good. That should be good for this carburetor right now. It's a big improvement. We got the carb pretty good degreased, so we're gonna put it right back on the mower, and we're pretty close to firing this thing up. We're gonna clean it after we get it running. Hopefully it will run, but yeah, that's what we got for so far right now. We just came and dropped off their mower, and the symptoms were it wasn't starting, and when he could get it started, it was running like really rough and it wasn't running good. So we actually do clean up like local people's mowers and get them up and running. So this will be in another video. Hopefully we can get this one up and running. I think it's probably just gonna need a basic air filter cleaning, and maybe we're gonna check for spark on the spark plug. So just like what we're doing to this mower currently. Yeah, about the air filter, it should be good to run without an air filter just for a little while, but for like general use, we're probably gonna have to get an air filter for it. So
okay, so we just got the carb on, the throttle assembly hooked up, and I just need to clean off this air filter
cover
box, and then we should be good to do an oil change on this, and then we'll be good.
We'll give it its first start up in like 3 years, I think he said.
Yeah.
So hopefully this will start. Alright, so now we're gonna put the cover back on here for the
Air filter
for the
box.
air filter box. There's just 2 nuts, and then we should be. Oh yeah, we have to do an oil change still, though, right?
Yeah.
So unless, well, we might not have to do the change yet. We can maybe run it if the oil's good enough. If the oil's good enough for just for a couple minutes, then we'll probably just run it like that. Got the little breather line for the air box into the engine, so now we kind of have to take apart what we just did, but we don't have to take the carburetor off, so it's a win. There's the hose that goes onto there,
And then you attach it onto this metal piece right here. Slide it right up.
I don't know if I'm gonna get a view of it, but there it goes.
Slide it right up.
On the engine, and now we just gotta bolt everything back on with what we just did. We're gonna check the oil really quick. Maybe put some gas in it. Do you know if it has gas?
It does not have gas.
It does not have gas, so we got some gas. The oil should be good enough for a little test start, and we'll see how it runs. Dipstick. Let's get a close up on that.
So we'll put it in.
Let's get a sample. Close it, open it. See how much oil's in that.
It's about full.
Yeah, I think, and it looks pretty good. It's not black, it's not burnt.
Yeah, it looks like it just had an oil change not that long ago.
So I think that should be good for a start. Even, I don't even think we have to change the oil on that. That looks good.
We don't.
So that's perfect, guys. Let's check for gas actually now.
There is no gas.
Oh yeah. Let's actually add gas now. It's bone dry in there, I forgot, so we gotta get some gas for it. Now, all we're missing is gas, so we're just gonna put some gas in it. So
we get the carb. We got the air filter box on. Got the throttle body on. And now we're just adding gas. We had a good amount of oil in there. It was at like full, so we just need to add a little bit of gas, see if it runs, and we should be good, and then we'll clean it up.
we're not gonna add too much gas for right now, just for the simple fact is we don't know if it's gonna run, if we're gonna have to end up draining it, so. That should be enough, right?
Yep.
Alright, there's no
There
gas,
you go.
there's no leaks at the fuel line.
I'll get back to you when we start it.
Should look good. So we just gotta tighten up the spark plug, and we're gonna do the first pulls and see if this thing fires over. We know it has good spark, so that's a plus, and the points are good. Put the boot on. Alright, boots on. Let's see if it fires up. Gas in it, let's see if it fires up. It runs good. The throttle was bouncing a lot, but now I think it's sucked in gas, and now it's actually idling good. As you guys can see, it's smoothed out. It stopped going vroom, vroom, like up and down, so I think it's good now.